30-second countdown. Oh, no. Welcome into the Honolulu Blues show. As always, we got our host, Nick Faber and Adam Stark. What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Adam Stark. Today, we have a good episode. Unfortunately, Julius is out with some appendix issues, so hopefully he'll be good to go by next week, and we could break down the week one. But today, we got roster cuts, we got keeps, we got trades, we got all sorts of news. We got there's pretty much keeps, trades, cuts. I mean, I guess we could touch on the Lions' last preseason game, but there was not really much there. But all in all, it's going to be a good show.
That's right. That's right. And this show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Make sure you head over to Prize Picks, prizepicks.com, and you just type in the code LIONS when you're signing up, and that gets you with us forever. No, what that does, though, is gets you matched up to $100 on your first deposit. If you use the code LIONS, go to Prize Picks. All you do is pick people, if they're going to go over or under, the fantasy points, the rushing yards, the passing yards, the receiving yards. It doesn't matter. Pick 3 players, win buku bucks. It's a lot of fun. I've been having a ton of fun about it. We'll be posting a bunch about it on our Twitter, personal Twitters, and the Honolulu Blues Twitter. Make sure you check out Prize Picks and use the code LIONS when you sign up.
Yes, sir. So, Nick, we have a jammed-packed episode today. So, might as well just dip right into it. Lions news and notes. We didn't have a whole lot. We made a couple trade, not really a couple, a trade. We traded for wide receiver Trinity Benson from the Broncos. We'll get into that a little bit more. But then we also lost the preseason game, going 0-3 in the preseason. So, hey, that might mean we go 17-0 in the regular season, because you know how it goes. When we go 4-0, the opposite happens. So, knock on wood, 17-0 season coming up. Tim Boyle, he needs surgery. That's an odd situation. I don't know why we didn't just cut him. Nick, do you have, I tried to figure out what was going on here, but, I guess we didn't need to cut him because he's just going to go on IR, but is there any reason to keep him after, we know he's getting surgery and he's going to be out 6 weeks?
I don't agree with this, but the Detroit Lions just seem to like him. They just like him. They like him. They want to keep him because we can put him on an injured spot. We don't have to really waste any kind of roster spots for it. But to me, I've said this over and over, it's terrible. He's not a good quarterback. So to me, I don't even get it in any way, shape, or form. Get him off the roster. But at least he's not going to be the backup. Give me Blau. Blau's the man, dude. I'm all in on him.
He earned it, man. He looked pretty good in those preseason games. He showed he could at least beat second stringers, third stringers. And honestly, if it wasn't for Blau, we would have gotten blown out in all of our preseason games. Yes. So, at least he kept us in it. But
real quick, you said we're going to dip into it. Do you dip your cookies in milk? Are you a dipper in the milk?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. So Oreos, I will absolutely. I got to wait till the Oreo has completely started to fall to the bottom, but then I'll wait even longer till it gets even more soggy, and I'll pull it out. And man, I love a soggy Oreo, or even just regular Chips Ahoy cookie.
I put any cookie except for a no-bake cookie into milk. It can be a lemon. It can be a lemon cookie. It can be whatever kind of cookie. And I always gotta drop that lucky cookie in. So you drop the lucky cookie all the way and you let it sit there for the whole duration of your cookie eating process. You get done, you drink the milk, and then there's that last cookie, that lucky cookie sitting at the bottom, just soggy as all hell, ready for you to just tap it out of the freaking cup into your face, and you just eat it in. The best way to eat cookies. I just wanted to make sure, because I know you're a big milk fan, right? I think you're just like me.
Yeah. I'll drink
gallon a day, keeps the doctor away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, always.
Yes, so I just
those bones and muscles strong,
That's right, baby. The sun's out, so you got to make sure your guns are out and looking good.
Exactly. Oh, all right. So we did cut a few people, but the guy we cut that I believe it gave all Lions fans a good laugh today was Jaline Tavai. It wasn't the fact that we cut him. It was the fact that, of course, the Patriots claimed him. And who had the idea to put that Bill Belichick's here, none other than Matt Patricia. So, Nick, was this kind of just something inevitable? And do you even expect Tavai to get do you think Patricia likes him enough to try to get this guy a shot, or do you think he's going to make the practice squad and that'll be the end of that?
Oh, man, what a series of events. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen this coming since April, right? Like, you knew Tavai wasn't going to make the team. And then preseason happened, and you were sure Tavai wasn't going to make the team because he looked terrible. You knew Patricia wasn't going to be on the team. He was let go. He goes to New England. Now you're almost guaranteeing that somehow Tavai is going to find his way to New England. And the last piece of this puzzle that we're all so sure about, but like no one can really believe. And I've said this so many times, the NFL loves to repeat itself in ways you never fathom. The NFL will repeat itself. Jelani Tavai is gonna end up like Kyle Vanoy. Now there's two different meanings to this. Kyle Vanoy showed up and won Super Bowls with New England. I do not think Tavai will be Super Bowl bound with New England. That is just because Tom Brady isn't on the team. I do think Tavai could play a very similar role, not like position, but just key role in a Super Bowl win if Tom Brady was still on New England. And Tavai would be looked at as like one of the unsung heroes of that defense because they always have unsung heroes like Malcolm Butler, Kyle Vanoy, these guys that were cast-offs, nobodies, bums, scrubs, who became these, like immortal defenders through this championship run. And that's what Tavai would do. The fact is that New England just isn't as good as they were when Vanoy went to New England. So Tavai's not going to have a Super Bowl run. But I do think Tavai goes there. And I don't know how. And maybe it's because Patricia was always trying to be like Bill Belichick and draft Bill Belichick players when we would say it was the Matt Patricia type of player. Really, it was the Bill Belichick type. But he didn't know how to coach like Bill Belichick, so he could never get the most out of these guys. You bring them over to a team, which I've said over and over for years and years on podcast over podcast over podcast, not just this one. Bill Belichick runs that defense. It was never Matt Patricia. It was always Big Bill. Running that defense, Patricia was just a name. You put Tavai with Bill Belichick, he might be successful. And in fact, if I had to bet $100 right now, whatever the tier for successful is, he would be above that.
He's
not all pro, but successful.
Vanoy had some potential, but Tavai, I don't know. He was a big reach to the draft.
Yeah, it's not even his fault, We give him the second round tag true. Because Quinn Trisha decided to draft him in the second round. In fact, he was a fifth rounder. Like, it's not even his fault,
Hey, well, you know who else decided to go up and snag one of our guys? That team that, we don't like as much? The Bears. The freaking Bears. Yeah, Nick. Breaking news, guys. The Bears are trash. As always. No, man. They grabbed Brashad Perriman, which I don't know. That was interesting. Did they have their eye on him always? But Perriman, that was a weird situation. We cut him. Obviously, we had other situations we wanted to go. We made a trade for Trinity Benson. We'll get to that in a little bit too. But Perriman, what do you think of this? The Bears just actually not claiming him. They signed him to I want to say it was a 1-year deal, 1 year, 2 year. But they signed him right off the bat. And now Brashad Perriman, we're going to be playing against him twice a year. So hopefully this doesn't bite us in the butt.
Yeah, you brought up two real interesting moves. So first and foremost, we gave Perriman a ton of guaranteed money. We
got $2 million of his 2.5.
Just for showing up to camp.
That was a nice man. He's had a nice for being like honestly like a bust because he was a first round draft pick for the Ravens. Then he was on like the Jets, then the Bucks, then the Browns, bouncing all around. And I think was that the guy that you were talking about the tweet? No, it wasn't. But anyways,
wait. Do you not even know yet who
I don't even know. They didn't figure it out yet. Who was it?
The 4-team tweet?
Yeah, the 49ers, Jets, and Jaguars.
I don't remember the other ones. It was who we talked about earlier before the show started, and I can't say his name either, but whatever that safety turned running back is.
Oh, Godwin. Thank you.
Godwin Ogunbuke.
Oh, bro, that makes so much sense because they have on ESPN they have him listed as a running back, but on our lads they have him listed as a safety.
Yeah.
So that's
he's a safety. He was a safety. So the story about him is he's a safety until this. Like I believe it was this season. He didn't even get in the first game, but the second game he got in, and we switched him to a running back, and he's all about it, and he looks all right. But yeah, he was claimed by 4 different teams in a series of 2 years, and then he ends up on the Lions as a safety. We convert him to a running back, and I think he made the roster. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. He's one of the guys that made the roster.
I know Craig Reynolds had the great story, but Godwin's he's good story.
Yeah, definitely. So that makes a little more sense. I was super confused why safety was in our running back slot on ESPN, but now that makes a little more sense. But back to this whole Brashad Perriman situation. He's likely going to be the wide receiver 3 behind A-Rob and Darnell Mooney. And likely we'll have, Fields and Dalton throwing to him. So do you think Perriman makes a splash when he plays us? Like, do you think that was why the Bears got him? Or do you think this guy's just going to be your typical wide receiver 3, not doing much?
Well, real quick, do you have the roster for the Bears pulled up?
I can pull up what's
because I know they got rid of Anthony Miller to Houston earlier in the offseason. I know they released Riley Ridley. I'm shocked that Perriman, is really going to come in as their 3. I would think 4 or 5. The thing is, no, I don't think he's that much of a thing. I said it last week. Perriman can get open. I didn't think he was going to be cut. You actually, I'm pretty sure, were the one that kind of predicted this. Nostradamus over there. And with that, kudos. But I had no idea. He gets open. The thing is he takes plays off and he drops the ball. So ultimately, do I think
I don't think Dan Campbell liked his work ethic.
Wait, what?
I don't think Campbell liked his work ethic. Jeez, I can't say that.
Well, exactly. I think you're exactly right, which is we'll tease him for the 3rd time. The reason we went out and traded for Denver's did we trade him or get him off waivers? Whoever.
Trinity Benson.
What's his name?
No, we traded for him. We traded a
5th
round and 7th round for him, but we got him in a 6th round back. So
yeah, that's right. I thought that's what we did. That's kind of crazy. I know we keep teasing that.
It's enough to make Lions fans be like, I want to see this guy play. Let's see what he could do.
I sent out an article. It was from Denver back, before, during the first beginning of offseason, and he was impressing everyone with his work ethic, which brings us full circle to Brashad Perriman. Brashad Perriman, who has no work ethic. And that's exactly what you just said. Dan Campbell, that's not a Dan Campbell type of player. And if you're not a Dan Campbell type of player, you're not a Nick Faber type of player. So, goodbye, good riddance. I am bummed the Bears took him, though.
I know. I do wish he went somewhere else. But, so the Bears depth chart real quick. They have Marquise Goodwin, Rodney Adams, and Demary Bird. So, Perriman's going to – I think he's going to be fighting for that 3-4 spot, but I don't think he honestly could fall to 6. You never know. But let's get right into this Trinity Benson. We were just touching on him. So, Nick, we give up a 5th and a 7th to get this guy who I don't know if he would have been cut. I know the Broncos do have 3 really good wide receivers and Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Tim Patrick, who played pretty well last year. But what do you think of this trade?
Let's not forget also for the Broncos, I believe he's still on the team. Gosh, cuts are crazy, and maybe I missed them. But Detroit boy, KJ Hamler on that team as well. Penn State.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They got a loaded wide receiver roster. I think he may have been cut. I'm not exactly sure on what happens when you sign the guy off of waivers. I do know you lose a draft pick, I believe. So I don't know if maybe this was a way for us not to lose a higher draft pick, still lose a draft pick in general, but and ultimately it ended up being like a 5th rounder, but we gained a 6th rounder and give up a 7th rounder. I honestly don't know if he's going to even break through for like 15 or 20 catches this year. I hope so, but I like the receivers that we have, and it might seem like our weakest point, but all the receivers we have, I have a lot of confidence in. I really do. Other than Tyrell not getting injured, I don't have a lot of confidence in that. But hopefully he stays healthy. If he does, him, Khalif, Quintez, Amon Ra, these guys are good. But you add in Trinity Benson. I don't think there's too much harm in it. But what does that do? Does that mean Javon McKinley's not making the roster? Does that mean Tom Kennedy's not making the roster? We also went and, I believe, added one of the Browns wide receivers from waivers. Keandre.
Yeah, it was like hold on. It's
these names. I didn't even remember Trinity Benson.
Cadrell Hodge.
What was it?
Cadrell Hodge. Khadrel.
Hodge.
Might not pronounce it Hodge. Yeah, there you go.
Regardless, so we're adding these receivers because it is our weakest position. But does that mean that we don't have confidence in the group that we have? Does that mean we're just trying to find some unsung heroes? I wonder. I wonder. So let's get back to Trinity Benson, right? I say all this because we get to Trinity Benson, who we then traded 2 draft picks for, gained a draft pick, and we gained this wide receiver who might not even make like a splash this year. I don't know if I love that deal. This also, let's remember, Bashad Perryman wasn't a Matt Patricia signing. That was a Brad Holmes signing. We gave him $2 million to come to training camp with us. I mean, as much as we want to sit here and love Brad Holmes about all these things, sometimes you got to find these flaws. Not everyone's going to be perfect. I don't know if I agree so much with this Trinity Benson trade. I say that now, not knowing anything about him, not watching any film on him, not really knowing anything other than just an article that I know he works hard. That's not going to really sell me. So, this is really weird. We've had a bunch of interesting things happen. Like, it seems like normally everything's pretty predictable. A couple of these things aren't so predictable. Yeah, it's a lot.
I like it, though. It's different, you know.
Okay. Why do you like it? Tell me. I need to know, you know.
You know, this is something that I don't think Jim Schwartz would have done. I don't think Jim Caldwell would have done. I don't think Matt Patricia would have done. That's, make a trade like this. Something where it's like so little and almost meaningless to where they're not like thinking that hard. And I'm not saying, Dan Campbell's like going deep into all these, trying to get the most out of everything, but it's just different, I guess. So now I guess we're going to see if maybe, you give up a 5th and a 7th, some of these guys hit because – honestly, if this guy, all he needs to do is help us win one game, and that's probably worth it to Dan Campbell and the regime. So I will say the 5th rounder, that's interesting because sometimes you can get a diamond in the rough in the 5th round, but we did get a 6th back, but we still gave up the 7th. So I don't know. I think if this dude's a total bust, then we're going to be kind of looking at it like, oh, that was a terrible trade. What was he thinking? This is a bad, off to a bad start, but if he makes some sort of splash, I think Dan Campbell could be like, all right, gain a little more trust, I'll say. So
I can dig it. Well, let's see. Let's hope some of these wide receivers break out. That's what we'll need.
Yeah, so, all right. We had a lot of guys get cut. I'll go through the list real quick here, Nick. We had Elise Mack, Javon McKinley, Dedrick Mills, Sage Stripe, Victor Bolden, Damian Ratley, Jelani Tavai, Craig Reynolds, Geronimo Allison, Brashad Perriman, Corin Elder, our boy, Robbie Coleman, both the kickers in Gonzalez and Randy Bullock, Darren Fells, Mike Ford, and Tyrell Crosby. So, out of all those guys, who stands out the most? Who were you, shocked the most?
There's a bunch of names that I was shocked at. First and foremost, Darren Fells.
Yeah, that came later too, which was kind of odd.
and Elise Mack.
Yeah.
That's our tight end 2 and our tight end 3. That's our tight end 2 and tight end 3. We had Hot, Fells, Mack. Those were the 3 guaranteed to make the roster.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Who the heck is our tight ends right now behind Hawkinson? I don't even know.
We don't actually have one, which is crazy.
So we don't have any backup tight ends. So that's very shocking first. Then let's get to our kickers. We had Randy Bullock. We had Zane Gonzalez. We tried him out for 3 weeks for all of training camp, all of offseason. And then said, nope, we don't want you. Thanks, but no thanks. We would rather go with maybe our punter, Jack Fox, who posts a tweet of him missing every single field goal.
Perfect misses. That's what cracked me up. That was the same spot.
Every single. It's like aim the football to the left a little, brother. And in fact, we were okay with that. Now, obviously, we went and got Austin Seaver, but what did we even try these guys out with? Like, why didn't we? And didn't Bullock make a game go ahead field goal?
It's like a chip shot, though.
I don't care. That's pressure.
That's
pressure. I've seen a double doink from that distance. I've seen the Vikings lose from that distance with old Teddy Bridgewater. Those are shocking. Those were the most shocking of them all. Those really were. The Tabai, not so shocking. And Tyrell Crosby was a little shocking.
We brought him back, though.
Wait, what?
He went unclaimed, and we threw him back on our IR. So.
That's right. I forgot about that. So
he was caught, but
it was shocking, though. At the moment.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
I mean, it says something about the line that we're willing to lose this guy, and in a sense that we're confident enough in whoever Riker left or whoever I forget Crosby is, but yeah. The one that probably stands out the most to me is, honestly, now that you mentioned the tight end situation, I think that's weird. I don't know if it's just maybe TJ Hawkinson is feeling the best he has ever felt ever and is telling Dan Campbell, like, my body's 100%. I can't, find an injury anywhere.
I don't need a back.
Or they gave him just some super serum. And what's up, Mom? Thanks for joining the show. Or what? But hopefully, Hawk goes Superman and just stays, 100%. We don't even need another tight end. But I will say, there's a lot of sets that are 2 tight end sets. And if we don't have a second tight end, that completely takes that out of the game if we were going to run it or not. So I can't imagine we wouldn't.
I figured it out. We're going to cut one more player. And we're bringing one more guy on our roster, Dan Campbell. Suit him up. Get him a jersey. Get him a helmet. Get him out there. He's the backup tight end. He'll coach. He can do it all. Old DC.
Hey, man, he has experience. He's younger than some of these actual NFL players, like Tom Brady and probably a few others. But
probably Darren Fells. I bet him and Fells got to be pretty shockingly close.
Yeah, honestly,
Fells is pretty old.
But yeah, I will say we did bring back a few of these guys to the practice squad. So here's who we ended up bringing back: Devontae Beckett, Rashad Berry, Miles Brown, Jalen Elliott. We did bring back Zane Gonzalez to our practice squad. So I think, obviously him and Siebert will be dueling it out for week 1. One of those guys, obviously we're only going to keep one kicker on the team, but I think we'll always have a kicker on the practice squad. I wouldn't be surprised if we, flip-flopped them, called one up, sent the other down. But Randy Bullock was the odd man out there. We did bring back Bruce Hector, Tommy Kramer, Elise Mack. So, I think that's part of – and then we also brought back Brock Wright, another tight end. We didn't bring back Fells, which is kind of interesting. Brought back Craig Reynolds like that. Javon McKinley, I don't know if you said that. Dedrick Mills, Sage Surratt, and Nickel Roby Coleman. So most of the big names we cut went unclaimed and we kind of brought back. But the one guy we didn't even bring back to our practice squad, and there's just no chance of it happening. That's Corn Elder. We are not seeing the Corn on the Randall Cobb. Corn on the Cobb team. pun like we were hoping. So
I'm heartbroken about that. Not particular. Like yes, we all want to see corn on the cob. We wanted to see some shucking out there. We wanted to see some popping out there. We wanted to see it all. But I also had full confidence that Corn Edler was gonna go out there and straight up be better than Justin Coleman. I believe that if we went back in time, there's a podcast where I say, don't even worry about Justin Coleman. Old corny boy's here to save the day. He's gonna be the best slot shutdown dude we got. Aaron Glenn didn't think so. And I hope Aaron knows what he's doing, because right now on our depth chart, does it say we don't who the heck's playing slot cornerback right now? We don't have Mike Ford. I mean, Roby Coleman's back as a practice squad, and we don't have Corn. So I don't even we have 3 undrafted free agents in our secondary. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't even know. The Lions are going to be a disaster this year, or the greatest team ever brought up from man. It will be crazy. I don't even know.
Hey, dude, honestly, Dan Campbell, coach of the year, it's interesting because he's got to be a crazy plus 50,000, plus 10,000, something super good. But if he, gets the Lions to anywhere decent and no coach really has an impressive year, I could easily see Dan Campbell sneaking off with this Coach of the Year award just because of how bad the Lions were, how bad our roster was, and it obviously wasn't the roster, so it was the coach. And Dan Campbell comes in, fills the void, and does his thing.
I hate to water that down. Sorry to water the Kool-Aid down over there, get all the sugar out and pour the extra water. But the Lions aren't winning more than 4 games this year. So we need to get our minds out of there, because that's just not happening, dude. There's no way.
You never know.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. What if Goff just comes out and lights it up? I hope he does.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But anyone else kind of stand out to you? Mike Ford, he went claim to the Broncos, so I guess he was one that I was sort of surprised, sort of wasn't surprised. But what are some of your thoughts?
Another undrafted free agent. I did like Mike Ford a lot. I thought he had a lot of potential. I've said that on past podcasts. But again, I think Brad Holmes stopped listening to us, because or maybe he's listening to us and is like, we're going to do everything opposite of what Nick says, because I said Perriman was good to make the roster, and said Corn was awesome to take over slot, and Mike Ford, it's all right. We got Mike Ford. He'll take the slot. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. One name that you did mention that we brought back on our practice squad I wanted to bring up real quick was, I can't even remember right now, but I believe it's Bruce Hector, defensive lineman, journeyman, almost made the 53-man roster. Watch out for him. Injuries will occur in the season. We will be bringing Hector up to the roster, and we will see him on Sundays in a Lions roster, and he is going to impress if you watch him closely. A very talented player. I'm excited to see him.
Is Jerry Jacobs a slot corner?
He is more of a safety, but we got him to cornerback, and now, I mean, he might be in the slot. He's another undrafted. He's one of those undrafteds. I don't know. I like him a lot, though. He liked one of our tweets, so I like him. You know what I mean? I'm all about it. I think it tells a lot, though, about our roster right now. All these cuts that we're talking about, man, we could go through and name 10 Lions that anyone watching this show would have never heard before.
That's true.
That's nuts. Our team right now is made up of second stringers, third stringers. So it's going to be super interesting to see how the coaching goes. But listen, here is just a little foreshadow. What if the Lions only win 3 games or 4 games?
Hope not.
How many, we won 6 games with Matt Patricia, and we were okay, we'll give Patricia another year. But then 3 years later, we're like, we should have been out of there after game 1. We knew he was terrible since season 1. If Dan Campbell goes 3-14, are we going to sit here and just say, it's a rebuild, we'll give him another couple years? I don't think we're going to be so nonchalant about it. I think media, I think Twitter, I think fans will all be clamoring in just a short 4 or 5 months for Dan Campbell to not be a coach anymore. And that scares me. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying this is something that maybe we should talk about and get ahead of, because if in 4 months, if Dan Campbell's only won 3 games and we went 3-14, there are going to be a lot of people saying, I don't like it.
It's going to be ugly. Yeah. If we go, 2-15, 3-14, oh, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow, because not only will you have Lions fans like drinking the dark Kool-Aid, you'll have the media just like having a ball, field day with, oh, the Lions are forever terrible. Look at all their bad coaches. Dan Campbell is equally as bad as Matt Patricia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so, yeah, I think Dan Campbell knows that too, in a sense. If he gets off on a wrong foot, it could get ugly like fast.
And we have like the toughest schedule to start the season.
Honestly, yeah. And it's not even his fault. It's just the past his fault. So,
Exactly. So, and then listen to this real quick. How many games, real quick, do you think Jacksonville's winning this year? Jacksonville.
Probably like 5.
Okay. So 5. Now, the Dan Campbell's won 3 games. We get the first draft pick. We get a rookie quarterback. Are we really going to win more than 5 games? So now Dan Campbell has gone, we'll say we win 5 games with that rookie quarterback. Dan Campbell has now gone 8-26. 8-26 in his first 2 years. How long do you give Dan? Is Dan just going to be another, like, I hate to be the negative dude, and I hate to look 2 years in the future, but we see the steps that are going. Like, we see step by step what is about to happen. We're about to win 3 games, 4 games. We're about to win 5 or 6 after that. We'll give Campbell a 3rd year, just like Patricia. If we win 3 games that year in the first 8, we're going to fire Dan Campbell. And in 3 years, we're going to be having this exact same podcast saying the exact same thing about the next Lions head coach. It is literally a like ever going I can't even think right now because I'm like getting pissed. I'm literally saying all this out loud. But yeah, exactly. So what the heck do we do? How do we stop that? What do you think I'm going to ask you this question. How do we stop this cycle?
Get a good coach, win games. I don't know. But yeah, Dan Campbell is thrown into a rebuild team that, didn't have much. We had draft picks that were bust. Your best draft picks that your old regime made left in Kenny Golladay. And now you're left with pretty much Jeff Okudah, maybe a couple guys you can hit on, and maybe Cephas, maybe, and Amani. And that's literally about it.
I mean, we got Ragnow and Hawkinson.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I get your point. There's not much to go on.
So
it's risky. I don't know if there's a way to stop the cycle.
I hope we just Lions fans are patient. I hope if it's ugly this year, like 3-14, we give them just one more year, and if it starts real ugly, then like cut it off. Then don't wait. Just that's it. Someone else. But if Campbell shows promise in year 2, then I think that could be huge for the fans, the culture, everyone. So knock on wood, hope it happens.
Fingers crossed.
Exactly. So all these guys, all the cuts that we made, there was no one that was like crazy surprising. That was just a few teams have done this now and then where they make a cut that's just like, what? Like Cam Newton.
I was just going to say, nothing like Cam Newton. That was
it. Hey, I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way. If they knew Mac was going to be the guy, he's a rookie. Why even pay Cam to be the backup, to bring in the chance of Cam Newton when Mac throws his first interception? So I get it, but yeah.
The Patriots should have never even went after Cam Newton. Even last year, I've said this a few years ago. Cam Newton was done done like 4 or 5 years ago. And when Carolina got rid of him, he like right now, he should never play in the NFL again. There is no reason for him to play in the NFL. He is not starter material. He doesn't have a backup mentality, and that is okay.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with not being a backup quarterback for 10 years, like some backup quarterbacks we see. Cam Newton will be fine when it comes to money. He will be fine in life. He does not need to be a backup quarterback. He also just does not need to play in the NFL anymore. Like, it's,
you know what I would absolutely love, because I'm a Cam Newton fan, if he did a type of Carmelo scenario in which Carmelo Anthony was very stubborn for a while. He wanted to be a starter, only wanted to go to starting teams. Finally, he takes a backup role, goes to the Blazers, and actually is playing pretty well basketball, gets signed to a big contract to Lakers, and kind of rejuiced his career. So I'm hoping we see Cam, he takes that backup role, and in just 1 or 2 games, Dak Prescott, Big Ben, some of the starter goes down, and Cam wins those 2 games, helps the team get a playoffs win spot, whatever, and it's a good story. But
I'll even compare this. What I would love to see in that regard is to another one of your favorite players, a very Michael Vick-esque
exactly,
return,
yeah.
and where Vick, when he comes back, was very okay with being the backup to Nick Foles. Had no problem being the backup to Nick Foles in Philadelphia. Was just happy to trying to move past what had happened, and he was very okay with it, and then got a chance. And this wasn't the same Vic that what I was about to say was Cam Newton isn't anything because he can't run like he used to. But Michael Vick also couldn't run like he used to, but learned how to throw the ball. And I believe went out and threw 38 touchdowns and 5 or 3 interceptions for Philadelphia in a year, and had one of the best passing years in quarterback history. And if Cam Newton could do that, that would be really awesome. What if he went to Philadelphia? I know they just went and got Gardner Minshew, but goes to maybe the Giants, and Daniel Jones goes down, and Cam Newton doesn't have to run anymore because he's got Saquon, and he throws it up to Kenny G and Shepard and Ingram, and just has this great year with the Giants. That'd be really fun. He was thrown into New England with Jacoby Myers and N'Keal Harry, and with Sony Michel and James White. The dude had the worst supporting cast, and I'm pretty sure half of their offensive linemen were on COVID last year, and half of their defense were on COVID last year. The worst. I don't think Cam's anything, but I also do think that he went into the worst circumstance of all time last year. It would be fun to see him break out, but it will never happen. Cam Newton's done. Go be a podcaster.
Yeah, exactly. But moving on back to Lions news and notes, whatever you want to call it. Guys who made it. We had A.J. Parker, Jerry Jacobs, Tom Kennedy, obviously Trinity Benson, Deshaun Hand, Austin Bryant, and a few others. But the one that kind of stands out the most is Tom Kennedy. And he's probably going to be getting a legit shot to get some play time. And I really think he's going to get a legit shot because with Tyrell Williams' injury history, and I want to even say Cliff Raymond's injury history, and just rookie injury history, Cephas has been banged up. All our wide receivers have had injury problems. So I can't imagine one doesn't get banged up for a couple games and Kennedy doesn't get an opportunity to become the wide receiver 3 or even 2. So what are some of your thoughts on Kennedy? Do you think he could step in and be, some type of role player, or do you think he's just going to be, your typical wide receiver 3, Chris Durham type player?
You got to have your token white guy wide receiver. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's just facts of life. If you don't have your white wide receiver, then your team is trash. You just need one, right? Or you can supplement with a white running back. Tom Kennedy is the man. We've seen players break out from, years of practice squad. We go to New England and we look at their Wes Welker and Julian Edelman, practice squad players who are starting to make a name for themselves. If Tom Kennedy shows explosiveness in special teams and good hands, there is no reason why he can't make a splash with these wide receivers. Right now, the room is open. Anyone who makes this team can be a big-time wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. We all want to believe it's Amon Ra St. Brown, Tyrell Williams, Quintez Cephas, but it could easily be Tom Kennedy, Trinity Benson, You don't know who?
Wouldn't that be wild, man? If one of I wonder what the odds are of someone not Tyrell, not Amon Ra. Yeah, or honestly, outside of Tyrell Williams, who do you think leads the Lions in yards besides Hawks, of course?
Yeah. So for wide receivers,
Who do you think has? Yeah,
St. Brown. I truly believe St. Brown puts up 1,000 yards this year. I think even with Tyrell playing all, I think Jared Goff and Amon Ra St. Brown are going to become Cooper Kupp and Jared Goff-ish.
Yeah.
Like I've overdrafted Amon Ra St. Brown in fantasy, and I understand he's a rookie, and I do not draft rookie wide receivers, even if it burns me like Justin Jefferson last year. I just don't do it. I have taken flyers on Amon Ra St. Brown in too many leagues, including our Scott Fish Bowl. I love Amon Ra St. Brown, and I think he has 1,000 yards this year. Like I truly, I've seen his routes. I think with Goff throwing to him all year, the dude ends up with like 80. I almost go like 95 catches, 1,050 yards. He's not gonna because as A-Dot's not gonna be there, right? It won't have a ton of yards per catch. But it will be a very successful year, a very successful PPR league or year for fantasy too.
Hey man, I hope so. But hey, honestly, if Amon Ra did that, I would be praising Brad Holmes. And I will say, Nick, guess who was drafted? And I want to say, I think either the third or fourth round by Brad Holmes, Cooper Kupp. He snagged him whenever Kupp was drafted, but I remember. Fifth round? I know it was third, fourth, or fifth. I know it was later. One of the later ones. Anyway, it was a steal, obviously.
Yes.
And Cooper Kupp, he wasn't on anyone's radar, but Brad Holmes had this crazy draft formula where he would look at their times when they're on the field. Like, look at their speed when they're on the field as opposed to their, just generic 40-yard dash, 3-cone drill, etc. So whatever extra type of homework Brad Holmes did on Cooper Kupp, he hit it out of the park. And it would not shock me at all if he honestly did again with Amon Ra St. Brown. Obviously, he had Jared Goff with Cooper Kupp then, so he knew what Goff could, make work. So,
and Goff and Kupp played high school together, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Well, even more than better, I guess.
Another way I hope this works out is another draft pick that he has, which is a guy making huge strides when we get rid of linebacker after linebacker, including Jelani Tavai, Derrick Barnes.
Yeah.
This kid. I think this kid could be the best linebacker on the team this year. It might not be the best linebacker in the league, but the best linebacker on this team. Better than Jamie Collins. Better than Alex Anzalone, however you want to say his name. Anzalone, pepperoni. Whatever. Sean Deion Hamilton. Jalen Reeves-Maben. I don't even know any other linebackers on our team because they're, like I said, you could name half these linebackers, and I run a Lions podcast, and I still can't even tell you half the people on their team because of these cuts. Derrick Barnes might be the best player on this team. Like, the best player on this linebacking core, at least. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. An amazing draft pick, hopefully.
He's shown it, too, and he was a guy that we were kind of a little nervous about because he got a slow start. He missed a little bit, and then once he came in that first preseason game, we were impressed.
Yes.
A lot of Lions fans were happy because we were, we knew Tavai was trash. We knew Jamie Collins was old and, only has 1-2 more years left in him. And, we don't really have another solid linebacker. So we really needed Barnes to hit. And if he does, that will just be icing on the cake. And if we could get Sewell, Barnes, and Amon Ra to hit out of that group, then great job. And as of now, Aleem McNeil is looking like a pretty solid draft choice too. He's looking like he's going to be our nose tackle. Hopefully he can create some havoc. I will say the guy that is starting to concern me just because he's getting a little injured, that's Big Levi. Hey, he hasn't, been able to get those reps in, and that's important. And when you got a new head coach that hasn't really made a connection with you, he's going to go with the guys that are playing the best. And if you can't get out there to show you're playing the best, then that's just it. So hopefully, Levi gets healthy and, he gets his opportunity.
Just another Lions second rounder.
Yeah. Did you see that tweet? I forget who posted it, but it was like 10 straight second round busts. 10 straight second rounders. We didn't finish their rookie contract out. And I thought about it. I was like, oh my gosh. And it goes back to like Kerryon Johnson, Titus Young. There's tons of guys. And it's just, it's a weird curse, man. It's weird, but I would love that. Hopefully Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell can snap it. But man, that's odd.
I did not see that. Now I just know, but I did not realize that it's 10 in a row.
Oh no, yeah, I forget what it was, but there was a tweet.
That is bad. That is bad. Tease Tabor obviously comes to mind. Tavai obviously comes to mind. Kerryon obviously comes to mind. Like, we cannot.
Here we go. 2010, Javid Best. 2011, Titus Young. 2012, Ryan Broyles. 2014, Kyle Van Noy. 2015, Amir Abdullah. 2017, Tease Tabor. 2018, Kerryon Johnson. 2019, Jelani Tavai.
DeAndre Swift, if that MFer can't get out, if that dude can't get out and play and is injured this year and is injured next year.
Oh, man. And, everyone's going to be like, once.
Dude, and the biggest thing about all of those, I'm pretty sure I heard you name 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers, or close to. Nothing but skill positions.
2 wide receivers.
Nothing but skill positions. A cornerback.
And 2 linebackers.
2 linebackers. Stop drafting running backs, wide receivers in the second round. Just stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Terrible. God.
Crazy.
That's why I didn't want Swift. Hopefully he breaks it, though. Hopefully Swift breaks it. I love it.
Knock on wood. Yeah, hopefully balls out. But that's looking like that's the end of our show. As always, check us out on Twitter. Check Nick out, Nick Faber NFL. Check me out at Everyday FFB. I'll give you all your fantasy football help and needs. And James Robinson. Definitely. I thought you were asking me a question there. I read it wrong. Check us out on Twitter at Honolulu Blues Show _. We got great tweets, great content, all that good stuff. And then also on Instagram, Honolulu Blues _. And as always, that DeAndre Swift giveaway, it's going out in like less than 2 weeks. It's right after week 1. Right after game 1, week 1. So the 49ers game around probably like 4-ish, 5-ish p.m. We'll do a little live video drawing, something fun like that. But
go to YouTube, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Hit the link below. Nick,
appreciate it, John. Much
appreciated. But that is all we got. We will catch you guys all next week with Julius, hopefully. See you guys and go
Lions. Go see the Shang-Chi movie coming out. Let's go.